Losing your entire career over 280 characters is every artist's worst nightmare. And for Roseanne Barr, James Gunn, and Kevin Hart, that nightmare just became true. A single truth may have just blown up their reputation overnight. Should one sentence on the internet really hold the power to make or break someone's entire life? Roseanne Barr was thriving back in 2018. She had just made a major comeback with her ABC sitcom Roseanne and was pulling in massive ratings. But everything came crashing down on May 29, 2018. How's that? Well, Roseanne sent out a tweet where she compared former Obama advisor Valerie Jarrett to the Muslim Brotherhood. She wrote, "Muslim Brotherhood and Planet of the Apes had a baby equals VJ." Roseanne tried to brush it off as a bad joke, but the damage was already done. The internet exploded with outrage. News outlets called the tweet abhorrent and repugnant, and within a few hours, ABC canceled the reboot.
Made a mistake, obviously. It cost me everything, my life's work, everything. I made a mistake, and I've paid the price for it.
Channing Dungey, the president of ABC Entertainment, issued a statement saying, "Roseanne's Twitter statement is abhorrent, repugnant, and inconsistent with our values, and we have decided to cancel her show."
We start you off with breaking news. ABC has canceled the show Roseanne after the comedian made a racist remark on Twitter.
The tweet was in reference to a former advisor to President Barack Obama.
And that was just the tip of the iceberg. Consulting producer Wanda Sykes quit, and co-star Sarah Gilbert, who played Barr's daughter on the show, also condemned Barr's tweet, saying, "Roseanne's recent comments about Valerie Jarrett and so much more are abhorrent and do not reflect the beliefs of our cast and crew or anyone associated with our show." Bob Iger, chairman and CEO of Disney, said there was only one thing to do. And just like that, Roseanne went from TV queen to Hollywood outcast.
The first thing was shock that they were saying it was racial when it's political. And that was a hard one to take.
Surprisingly, Jarrett made a public statement at an MSNBC town hall as well, saying, "I want to mention Bob Iger, who is the CEO of Disney, called me before the announcement. He apologized, he said he had zero tolerance for that sort of racist, bigoted comment, and he wanted me to know before he made it public that he was canceling his show. And so I appreciate that they did that so swiftly." It was clear that she wasn't willing to let Barr off the hook for those 11 words. At some point, Barr had the genius idea of cleaning up her mess. She deleted the initial tweet and apologized hours later to the writers and actors who had lost their jobs publicly, saying, "I just want to apologize to the hundreds of people and wonderful writers, all liberal, and talented actors who lost their jobs on my show to my stupid tweet." She called the tweet a bad joke about her politics and her looks, but fans weren't buying it. Whatever joke Barr thought she was making ended up destroying her entire career. Now, some people did assume that Roseanne was remorseful over what had happened, but even after 7 years, she refuses to take accountability. Back in June 2025, she revealed that it was a higher power that made her upload the racist message. She said, "The way I feel about it is God told me to do what I did, and it was a nuclear bomb. And I had my laptop there in bed, as always, and I opened it, and there was a post with a picture of Valerie Jarrett next to Helena Bonham Carter in full makeup as Ari in Planet of the Apes, and they looked like Xerox copies of each other, so I captioned it." In the end, Roseanne didn't just lose her show, but her legacy, and that too rightfully so. Now, with every excuse, she only proves that sometimes the most dangerous weapon to end your career isn't Hollywood politics, but a tweet on a random Sunday. Next up is James Gunn, the mastermind behind Guardians of the Galaxy. He was everyone's favorite. Fans loved him, and critics always praised him, and Marvel trusted him with one of its biggest franchises. But everything flipped in July 2018. Some of his old tweets resurfaced on the internet, and fans weren't thrilled when they saw them. We're talking jokes about the R-word, pizza, and even the Holocaust. One tweet from 2009 read, "The best thing about being raped is when you're done being raped, and it's like, whew, this feels great, not being raped." Disney wasted no time and called the tweets indefensible and inconsistent with our studio's values. Alan Horn, the studio's chairman, fired Gunn on the spot. A short while later, Gunn tweeted, "Many people who have followed my career know, when I started, I viewed myself as a provocateur, making movies and telling jokes that were outrageous and taboo. As I have discussed publicly many times, as I've developed as a person, so has my work and my humor." For months, James was out of the picture, and his career looked finished. But then came the shocker. The internet had suddenly turned for him instead of against him. Petitions were being rallied in by fans, media voices were questioning Disney's decision, and the entire Guardians cast came out to publicly defend him. The battle had now turned from Gunn versus Disney to Gunn and his army of supporters versus Disney. Commentator Ben Shapiro said, "I also think that firing him for vile old joke tweets is bad precedent and a mistake. There is no limiting principle to the outrage mob." Meanwhile, comedian Patton Oswalt pointed out that Mike Cernovich had posted his fair share of questionable remarks online, including "date rape does not exist," and yet he's still allowed to have a career. Surprisingly, Roseanne joined the chat as well. She wasn't too happy about the support James was getting, and she let everyone know in a tweet, saying, "I'm disgusted to read all of the support for James Gunn's pedophile jokes, as the same people supported blacklisting me for a joke they didn't even understand." But Roseanne's little tantrum was brushed under the rug. Instead, the petitions paid off. Disney reserved its decision in 2018, and James was reinstated as writer and director of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
James Gunn has, as I tweeted earlier today, risen like the phoenix, and in fact is far better off with 2 pictures for 2 major franchises, for 2 major studios, than he ever would have been had this situation not arisen. So he and his team have navigated it, I think, beautifully, and have come out of this situation better than anyone else. I mean, whatever he's paying them, they're worth every penny.
He expressed his gratitude, saying, "I am tremendously grateful to every person out there who has supported me over the past few months. I am always learning and will continue to work at being the best human being I can be. I deeply appreciate Disney's decision, and I am excited to continue making films that investigate the ties of love that bind us all. I have been and continue to be incredibly humbled by your love and support. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Love to you all." Unlike Roseanne Barr, James Gunn's career didn't come to an end with the tweet. Sure, it did hit pause for a while, but then he came back even stronger. So right now, the biggest question is, will James be using his second chance wisely? Now, let's move on to Kevin Hart. In late 2018, Kevin landed the gig of his life, hosting the 2019 Oscars. He was doing better than he ever was, but suddenly, surprised, the celebration turned into a firestorm. Nearly a decade-old tweets started resurfacing on the internet, and it was some serious stuff.
Not long after he got the gig, critics almost immediately started blasting the popular actor and comedian for old tweets and comedy routines they say were homophobic.
The Academy was kind enough to give Hart 2 choices: apologize or step aside. Initially, Kevin stood his ground. He didn't feel like caving in just to keep the job. But when he sensed the outrage was getting out of hand, the pressure became impossible to ignore.
I got a call from the Academy, and that call basically said, "Kevin, apologize for your tweets of old, or we're going to have to move on and find another host." Talking about the tweets from 2009, 2010. I chose to pass. I passed on the apology.
So that's when he issued a public apology through his publicist, saying, "Once again, Kevin Hart apologizes for his remarks that hurt members of the LGBTQ community. I apologize. We thought it was okay to talk like that because that's how we talk to one another. This is wrong now, because now we're in a space where I'm around people of the LGBTQ community, and I'm now aware of how these words make them feel, and why they say, that shit hurt because of what I've been through." He further added, "The fight is the will and want for equality. I'm riding with you guys. I understand you." And that's not all. On Good Morning America, Kevin tried to close the chapter for good. He said, "I am over it. There's no more conversation about it. I'm over that, I'm over the moment. And I'm not giving no more explanation of who I am. I'm just done. If you didn't hear the apology, I don't know what you're looking for. I'm a good person. I love to love. If you don't see that, then it's a problem with you. But despite all the public apologies, the damage was done. Kevin lost the Oscars gig, which is the biggest stage for anyone in his line of work.
Guys, I'm almost 40 years old. If you don't believe that people change, grow, evolve as they get older, I don't know what to tell you.
Surprisingly, Kevin's career didn't take a hit. He kept on working, making movies and selling out arenas. But that one-in-a-million golden moment, the night where he could have owned the Oscars stage, was long gone. And this raises some serious questions. Is Twitter destroying lives or just revealing them? More importantly, why is it that tweets hold such catastrophic power? Well, it's because the people hold the power to transform a private joke into a public trial. And here's the real kicker. Corporations don't wait for the drama to stop. The panic kicks in, and they don't cancel upward, they cancel downward. This means that the big company protects itself at all costs, while individual talent is tossed aside. It's a formula. One careerless tweet, thousands of angry fans, a corporate PR team going into crisis mode, and just like that, a decade-long built reputation comes crumbling down. And it's all driven by fans. They are the judge, jury, and executioner. And of course, brands run in the same lane. They would rather cut ties than be the talk of the town. But if you are lucky, then redemption can happen too. James Gunn found a second chance, only because fans pressed. Kevin Hart almost dodged a bullet too, but of course the Oscars opportunity was a real bummer. And for Roseanne? For her, the wound may just be too deep. So the question remains, did these stars deserve to lose everything over one sentence? Or is social media just rewriting the rules of fame? Either way, in 2025, one wrong tweet could cost you millions. And as we've seen, nobody is safe.